The sound of something crashing echoed through the massive mansion, followed by a triumphant laughter and Jungkook's exasperated groan. You have got to be kidding me, he yelled, storming into the living room where you sat cross legged on the couch, looking suspiciously innocent. What? You blinked up at him, batting your lashes. It wasn't my fault. Jungkook's jaw clenched, his sharp eyes scanning the shattered remains of his precious gaming console on the floor. You threw a pillow at my PlayStation, he deadpanned, his voice dangerously calm. Well, technically, I threw a pillow in your direction. You corrected, a cheeky grin on your lips. You dodged and it just landed there. Gravity, you know? Jungkook inhaled sharply, closing his eyes as if asking the universe for patience. I hate you. You say that every day. You hummed, resting your chin on your palm. Yet you still haven't thrown me out. Jungkook scoffed, running a hand through his already messy hair. Believe me, if it weren't for this stupid marriage contract, you would be long gone. You pouted dramatically. Oh, Cookie, that hurts. Don't call me that. Why not, Cookie? You teased, emphasizing the nickname just to see the vein in his forehead twitch. Cookie sounds cute. Cookie is adorable. Jungkook clenched his fist. Cookie is going to file for divorce. You gasped, placing a hand over your chest. You wouldn't. Watch me. But what would you do without my delightful presence? You smirked, tilting your head. Who would make your life so fun and exciting? Fun, Jungkook repeated, looking utterly done with you. Exciting. You are a menace. A lovable menace. You corrected, winking. Come on, admitted you would miss me. Jungkook rolled his eyes, turning away. I would miss my peace and quiet. Just then the doorbell rang. You perked up. Oh, maybe it's my package. Jungkook narrowed his eyes. What did you order this time? You beamed, a life-sized cutout of you. His expression morphed into sheer horror. Why? You shrugged, so I can annoy you even when you're not home. Jungkook pinched the bridge of his nose. I swear I don't know whether to laugh or cry. He sighed dramatically, staring at the ceiling as if asking why he was cursed with you. But even as he grumbled under his breath, you caught the small tug at the corner of his lips. He could say he hated you all he wanted, but you knew better. And that was exactly why you enjoyed pushing his buttons. You and Jungkook had been enemies since childhood, constantly bickering, competing, and getting on each other's nerves. From stealing his lunch in kindergarten to tripping him during races, you made it your mission to annoy him. While he retaliated with equal determination, no one understood why you two despised each other so much, but the rivalry was legendary. Fast forward to adulthood, fate and your families played a cruel joke. Due to a major business deal between your parents, you were forced into an arranged marriage with none other than your childhood nemesis, John Jungkook. Both of you resisted, protested, and even attempted to sabotage the wedding, but in the end, you were bound by contract. Now your marriage is a complete disaster filled with endless banter, pranks, and arguments. While you take every opportunity to get on his nerves, he claims to hate you, but his actions sometimes say otherwise. He might grumble and glare, but you know deep down he would never truly let you go. You were fixing your closet when suddenly the door burst open. You didn't even have to look who it was. Jungkook looked extremely mad and done with you. Until when you're going to be like this, huh? Why you take everything as a joke? You turned towards him with an innocent smile, blinking at him. What do you mean, dear husband? Don't act clueless. My meeting was ruined because of you, he accused, running a frustrated hand through his hair. Oh, you mean the tiny mix-up where I may have switched your presentation slides with a compilation of your most embarrassing childhood photos? You asked sweetly. His nostrils flared. You looked adorable in that bunny costume, by the way. You added, biting back a laugh. Jungkook groaned, rubbing his temples. I swear, at this point, I don't even know what to do with you. You are a menace. You shrugged. One day I'll be gone and then you'll realize my presence. He scoffed. That would be a relief. Finally, some peace and quiet. Your teasing smile faltered for a second before you chuckled, masking the sting in your chest. Well, then you should start preparing for that peace. You stood up and walked away, heading towards the kitchen. Jungkook let out an exasperated sigh, muttering under his breath, but as soon as you disappeared, a strange weight settled in his chest. His mind replayed your words, one day I'll be gone, and suddenly the thought of you leaving felt suffocating. He clenched his fist, hating how uneasy he felt. No matter how many times he claimed to hate you, he knew deep down that wasn't the truth. You had been by his side since childhood, even if it was always through fights and arguments. The idea of a life without you, without your annoying presence, your mischievous smile, your constant pranks, felt wrong. Jungkook exhaled sharply, running a hand through his hair as he stared at the empty doorway. Why does this scare me so much? You received a call from your doctor. Your fingers trembled as you picked up the phone. The voice on the other end was calm but firm, delivering the news that made your world blur for a moment. You swallowed hard, trying to keep yourself composed, but your heart was pounding painfully against your ribs. After the call, you left for your doctor's appointment without telling Jungkook, your mind clouded with thoughts you couldn't escape. When you returned home, everything had changed. The usual spark in your eyes was gone, your lips pressed into a thin line, and for the first time in your life, you barely spoke a word. You avoided unnecessary conversations, answering only when required, and even then, your voice was quieter than usual. Jungkook, who was used to your constant teasing and chatter, noticed instantly. At first, he thought it was one of your tricks, another way to annoy him, but as the hours passed and you remained eerily silent, he couldn't shake off the strange feeling settling in his chest. Jungkook leaned against the counter, arms crossed as he watched you move around the kitchen without your usual energy. What got your tongue? He teased, his voice laced with mock amusement. I swear the house feels like heaven when you are not talking. Maybe I should have wished for this earlier. He expected you to throw a witty comeback, maybe roll your eyes dramatically, or even start an unnecessary argument just to get on his nerves. But you didn't. You barely even looked at him, only giving a weak smile before continuing to slice the vegetables. Jungkook's smirk faltered. His teasing was meant to provoke you, to bring back that fire in your eyes, but your silence gnawed at him in a way he didn't expect. The house was quieter, emptier, and he hated it. He hated this unsettling feeling creeping into his chest. His fingers tapped against the counter impatiently as he observed you. Yeah, he called, tilting his head. You didn't hit your head or something, did you? Where's the usual annoying brat I'm stuck with? You didn't say anything, so he came near. Is this your new drama? Are you planning something big? You looked at him, forcing a weak smile. No more drama anymore. Your wish will be fulfilled soon, Jungkook. With that, you left, making him confused, but the pain in your voice, he couldn't unnotice that. He knew something was wrong, very wrong. The morning of Jungkook's birthday felt no different from any other day. At least, that's what he told himself. He had never cared much for birthdays, never celebrated them, never wanted to, but today, something gnawed at him, something unfamiliar. It wasn't the day itself that felt odd, it was you. Ever since yesterday, you had been unusually quiet, your usual fire replaced by something he couldn't quite place, and he hated it. The house, once filled with your endless teasing and playful bickering, felt unnaturally still. He found himself seeking out your voice, waiting for your next annoying comment, but it never came. Even now, as he sat at the dining table, stirring his coffee, he couldn't help but glance at you. You sat across from him, eyes fixed on your plate, mind seemingly elsewhere. Jungkook sighed dramatically, setting his cup down with a deliberate clatter. Wow, this house finally feels like heaven. So peaceful, so quiet, it's a miracle. You barely reacted, his brows furrowed slightly. What, did you lose your voice or something? Finally realize that your words are a waste of breath? Again, nothing. No comeback, no glare, no dramatic response. Just you pushing your food around with your fork. Jungkook shifted uncomfortably in his seat. The silence, it didn't suit you. It didn't suit this house. It didn't suit him. Okay, seriously. He leaned forward, elbows on the table. This is getting creepy now. I was joking, but if you actually lost your voice, blink twice. You exhaled, barely glancing at him, and muttered, I'm fine. It didn't sound fine, it didn't feel fine. Jungkook ran a hand through his hair, frustrated. You know, if this is your new strategy to annoy me, congratulations, it's working. Still nothing, something was wrong, and then, as if a switch flipped in his head, an idea struck him. He straightened up, an exaggerated smirk pulling at his lips. You know what? Since today is such a special day and it's my first birthday after marriage, I expect a gift. You finally looked up at him, but there was no amusement in your eyes. Jungkook clicked his tongue, tilting his head. Come on, wife. What are you gonna give me? A heartfelt love letter? Your undying affection? Wait, don't tell me you're gonna behave like a good wife for a whole day. Now that would be a gift. You stared at him for a moment before quietly pushing back your chair. Without a word, you stood up and walked out of the dining room. Jungkook blinked. Wait, hey, I was joking. He frowned as you disappeared into your room, leaving him sitting there, the strange heaviness in his chest growing stronger. Minutes later, you returned, but this time you weren't empty handed. A file was clutched in your hands, your knuckles peeled from the grip. You walked up to him, set the file down on the table, and slid it towards him. Here, your birthday gift. Jungkook raised a brow, glancing between you and the file. He scoffed, shaking his head. What is this? Divorce papers? Finally giving up on ruining my life? You didn't laugh, you didn't react. Jungkook's smirk faltered as he looked down and flipped open the file, and in that moment the ground beneath him slipped away. He stared at the report in his hands, his heart pounding as his eyes scanned the words again and again, refusing to believe them. His throat felt dry as he slowly looked up at you. What is this? His voice was sharp, laced with panic. What kind of joke is this now? You gave him a weak smile, your eyes holding a strange emptiness. It's not a joke, Jungkook. You should be happy. This is probably the best birthday gift you could ever receive. His grip on the paper tightened, veins prominent on his hands. What the hell are you talking about? You'll finally have peace. You forced a small chuckle, though it lacked your usual mischief. No one to trouble you, no one to annoy you, no one to give you a headache. I'll be gone forever. The moment those words left your lips, Jungkook threw the report away, rushing towards you, his hands gripping your shoulders tightly as his eyes burned into yours. No, nothing will happen to you. You're not going anywhere. Do you hear me? You were surprised by his reaction for a second. The fear, those tears that he was trying to control. It was all surprising, but you forced a weak smile. Why are you worried? You whispered, tilting your head. It's not like I was someone special to you. I've always given you a hard time, right? You said it yourself. You hate me. Jungkook's jaw clenched as he shook his head, his grip tightened around your shoulders. No, never. His voice trembled with emotion. I don't hate you, and I won't let anything happen to you. I'll get you the best medical treatment in the world. Whatever it takes, you're not leaving me. You blinked at him, surprised by the raw desperation in his voice. Why? Why do you care so much? Because I can't imagine a life without you. He burst out, his voice breaking. Because I never hated you, I love you, and I can't let you go like that, never. Silence filled the air, his confession hanging between you both like a storm waiting to break. You love me? He nodded without a second thought. Tears started filling in his eyes. Yes, from the very beginning, even when you annoy me, pull my legs, but I love you. I love you, and forever love you. Nothing will happen to you. I won't let anything happen to you. You looked at him surprised, and then slowly a small smile tugged at your lips. Jungkook frowned, still breathing heavily. Why are you smiling? Your eyes twinkled mischievously. I knew it. His brows furrowed in confusion, seeing that mischief back. Knew what? That you love me. You smirked. I knew it all along. Jungkook froze staring at you, and then realization dawned on his face. His hands dropped from your shoulders as his eyes narrowed dangerously. You. His voice was low and deadly. You were messing with me? You stepped back, laughing nervously. I mean, technically, yes, but in my defense, I had to make you confess somehow. Jungkook inhaled sharply, his hands flying to his head as he ran his fingers through his hair in frustration. His entire face was flushed, not with embarrassment, but with sheer, unfiltered rage. Are you crazy? Do you think that was funny? You winced at the volume but quickly shook your head. No, it wasn't funny. I had to request so much to that doctor to fake those reports. Then what the hell was it? He paused, swallowing hard. I thought I was going to lose you. His voice cracked slightly, but he quickly clenched his jaw, holding back the storm of emotions that threatened to spill. You reached for his arm, but he jerked away, stepping back as he let out a sharp, humorless laugh. Unbelievable. You think it was just some prank? Just a joke? His gaze snapped back to yours, and for the first time you saw the raw pain in his eyes. Do you have any idea what you just did to me? What I felt in those moments? Your heart clenched. Jungkook, you let me believe you were dying. You let me think I was about to lose the one person who has been with me since childhood. You swallowed, guilt creeping up your spine. I just wanted you to confess. You admitted softly. He scoffed, shaking his head again as he turned on his heel. Unbelievable, he muttered under his breath before taking a step towards the door. Panic surged in your chest as you watched him walk away. You had never seen him like this. So shaken, so genuinely furious. Without thinking, you rushed forward and grabbed his wrist. Jungkook, wait, you pleaded. He stilled but didn't turn around. You took a deep breath before whispering, I'm sorry. I don't want to hear anything. He tried to pull back his hand, but you didn't let him. Jungkook, please, I'm really sorry. Please don't go. Slowly, he turned his head to look at you, his expression unreadable. You bit your lip, your fingers tightening around his wrist. I know I went too far. I know I scared you, but I swear I just wanted to hear you say it. You hesitated before adding softly, I just wanted to know if you loved me the way I love you. And did you think that was the best way to do that? To give me those reports and scare the hell out of me? You shook your head. No, it wasn't. But my crazy mind could think of that only. He started leaving, but you held his arm. Jungkook, no. His shoulders tensed at your words. You stepped closer, cautiously wrapping your arms around his waist from behind, pressing your forehead against his back. Please don't be mad. I can't stand it when you're mad at me. For a long moment, he didn't say anything. Then he sighed heavily. You drive me insane, he muttered, his voice softer this time. You smiled against his back. I know. He let out another sigh before turning around in your hold, his dark eyes locking onto yours. You seriously thought I wouldn't confess unless you pulled something like this? You gave him an innocent look. Well, I had a theory. Jungkook narrowed his eyes before suddenly grabbing your waist and pulling you flush against him. You wanna test more theories, huh? His voice was low, teasing now, but there was still a hint of frustration. Your breath hitched. No, I think I'm good. He hummed, tilting his head. Too bad, because now I think you deserve a little payback. You gulped, suddenly feeling nervous. Jungkook, but before you could say another word, he leaned down and kissed you. Not soft, not hesitant, no. It was firm, possessive, full of emotions he had bottled up for so long. Your fingers clutched onto his shirt, your knees going weak as he poured everything into that kiss. His anger, his relief, his love. When he finally pulled away, he rested his forehead against yours, his lips still barely brushing against yours as he whispered, Never pull something like that again. You nodded breathlessly. Okay. Promise me, I promise. He smirked slightly. Good. Then after a pause he muttered, Happy now? You grinned. Very. He groaned, shaking his head. You're impossible, and you love me for it. Jungkook sighed dramatically but tightened his grip around you. Yeah, I do.